So as today's video is titled, this is my hopefully going to be a short review of the Steambow M10. Again, I wanted to make this video just showing some of the things that perhaps I was looking for or would have been looking for when buying this, but I did buy it. In hindsight, I bought it as soon as it came out, so there wouldn't have been much on the internet about it. Probably go through some of the specs first. Currently on sale for £320 on Merlin Archery. With that you get, I mean obviously you can get it from other places. Merlin Archery have not paid me, I just get most of my stuff from there, and I think their customer service is really good. So that's the reason why I'm mentioning them. £320 at the moment, and with that you get 2 magazines, 20 bolts, and you get this £75 limb. If you want extra magazines, they are I think I paid £70, but now I'm pretty sure they're cheaper. They're about £65. The crossbow takes a multitude of different bolts, different broadheads, heavy broadheads, light broadheads, but something to take note of is that depending on the poundage of the limb, you can't use certain bolts. So if you go £120 or £150, you cannot use standard crossbow bolts. They have to be heavy enough, and it will say, I'll actually put on the screen the graph that Steambow have saying how heavy the bolts need to be. Mentioning the limbs, you can get £35 limb, £55 limb, £75 limb, £90, £120 and a £150. It comes standard with the 75, and I bought additionally the 150. I'm not going to shoot the 150 today because I've already done a broadhead video shooting the 75 and the 150, but they are the two limbs that I have. The £75, which is on here currently, is super easy to shoot. The 150, I'll try and put a clip of me cocking the 150 on from the broadhead video in, so you can see that it is significantly more difficult, but it's achievable. It's just there's a noticeable difference. I mean, it's double the draw weight, you know. Something else that's worth noting is the loading of it. Now, when you put the magazine in and drop it down, the bolts drop down onto, I guess, the rail, and that means if you take the magazine out, some bolts will fall out. I mean, realistically, when are you going to be putting a magazine in and taking it back out with the bolts in? You're not, but if you do that, they are going to fall out. Other than that, you can just fire off all of your shots. It comes with 3 Picatinny rails on the front. It comes with a generously sized Picatinny rail on the bottom. It also comes with iron sights, which can be changed. This part can be changed, and then it goes through this little thingy. I've forgotten the name of them, but I actually probably shoot this mostly with the iron sights, which are accurate. They're zeroed at about 10 yards with the £75 limb, which is actually quite good. And then you can just account for it as you step further away. I think that was all I wanted to say about it. Oh, I love this feature they have. This adjustable sort of cheek rest is great, because the problem with these crossbows when they're top loaded is you can't get a good cheek weld on the stock because you need your eyes higher. So the fact that this comes up is a great addition. Also adjustable. I shoot with it actually all the way back here because I'm 6'1", so my arms are quite long, but it is great. It's a great crossbow. It's definitely one of my favourites of the 6 I own. It's great fun to shoot as well. So, like always, going to do some shooting tests. One thing to note is that there's no anti-dry fire, so do not pull the trigger without a bolt in. Also, the safety isn't automatically engaged or disengaged, it's totally manual. So that's the safety off, that's the safety on. But for using this crossbow, you just have it off the whole time. I think that one literally hit exactly where the other one was. I mean, the iron sight is actually really accurate at this distance, to the point that I'm having to aim around the bag as not to fire a bolt into the back of another bolt. Now you've just seen that happen. Sometimes what happens is the last bolt comes out the front, it drops out, and I think it's because there's no pressure from the next bolt. So the last one usually always drops out. Now this will still fire, there's no anti-dry fire, so you've got to be careful. I just tend to drop the bolt back in and then shoot it. Like I said, the accuracy on the iron sights is quite good, especially at 10 yards. So I fired the first couple around here and thought, well, I need to actually start spreading it out so that I don't fire a bolt into the back of another bolt, which I actually did earlier when I got here. So I'm going to put that video up. But there's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts. Because I broke the 10th earlier when I shot into the back of it. So I'm just taking some practice shots, so forgive the crap audio because I don't even have the mic set up. And how is that for accuracy? So I'm just using the iron sights, not even using a red dot sight. Stood at about 10 yards. I mean, that's pretty good for accuracy, right? Right, well, the whole point of these crossbows is that they're fast, right? So let's see at 10 yards. I put 10 in here now, 10 bolts. Let's see how fast I do the first magazine, then I've got a second one in my pocket. Like I said, on the iron sights at 10 yards, it is basically zeroed. So I do actually have to move around the target as not to fire into the back of some other ones. But so on the other camera, it's not going to look super accurate, but that's deliberate. I just don't want to waste any more bolts. So 75-pound limb. Let's go. Nine. Now this 10th one is the one that usually flies out. 10. Now it's starting to look a bit busy in the centre of that target. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go and take a look at that. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these bounced out, but this bag is rated for 400 feet per second compound bows and compound crossbows. So don't judge the power of the 75-pound limb by the fact that it's coming out of here, because this is super dense. Super dense. I mean, it stops my 70-pound compound bow, and it stops the 180-pound adder. With broadheads on, it will stop them. So don't judge it. Now this grouping, believe it or not, I was actually trying to aim around, because if I aimed on the centre every time, I mean, look how tight this area is, they would have hit each other. So it is very accurate on the iron sight. It's very accurate on the red dot sight as well, but because it's so accurate with the iron sight, I just use the iron sight. I don't feel a need to put the red dot on it. But accuracy really is up there, considering the speed and the versatility of being able to use the magazine system as well. So what I've done now is I've come back to 15 yards, and actually what I'll do is I'll just sort of show you on the camera. So that's where I was before, here at 10 yards. There's a target in the camera. So I'll come back to 15. and just see, this isn't going to be about speed, this is going to be more about just seeing how accurate it is on the iron sight. So I'm going to aim for the top of the target. Now I can't see where that hit, I think it hit in the middle, and I'm putting the iron sight right on the top. I have no idea where I'm hitting. Is that going low? Essentially at the top of the target, where the hand holder strap is hanging down, that is what I'm aiming for. However, at this distance, the iron sight is covering it. It's worth pointing out that loading the 75-pound is super easy. So if you're a bloke, don't worry about it being difficult. It's really easy to load. Okay, so that's my grouping at 15 yards. Got a couple of rogues down here, but for the most part, not a bad grouping. I'm going to quickly take it back to 20, just to see, just so we can see what's going to happen at 20 yards. Right, so I'm out at 20 yards. I think what I'll do is I'll just show you how it looks from me. So that's 20 yards away. Now, the problem I'm going to have here is that I want to get the targets here somewhere, so I'm just standing off screen. It's so far away that I'm going to have to aim. I'm not going to be able to see, so I'm going to aim at the top, come off a bit. I think actually hit the top, so maybe I don't need to aim that much higher. That's 2. Yeah, because at 10 yards I had it zeroed. At 15 yards I was aiming at the top of the target, so you can imagine that distance again above. If I had slow-mo, I think the video of the bolt travelling, that's pretty cool. I'm going to try and get that actually in slow-mo. I saw that one, so I roughly know where it's got to go. I mean, this thing, 75 pound, I was about to say, is not accurate at 20 yards, but I think that one just hit the bullseye. Last one. So I mean, this is now all over the place. At 10 yards, I'm aiming here. At 15 yards, I'm aiming here. At 20, I'm aiming above, and you can't actually see the target. So I've got this grouping, which, you know, is still, I mean, that's sort of 6 inches. So it's only sort of 8 inches by, probably by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I'm pretty sure I fired 10. One I know bounced off back here. There it is. I don't remember 2 bouncing off. Maybe I only fired 9. I'll have to watch the video and work it out. But that's at 20 yards. Like I always say, I don't want this video to be super long, so I've given you some accuracy shots at 10, 15, 20 yards. I've given you some speed shots at 10 yards, which really, that's what this thing is designed for, in my opinion. It's not designed for long range archery. It's designed for really close range, hence how easy it is to cock, which it is mega easy. So, you know, for quick shooting, and also for the ease of the magazine change. I have done videos on this bolt here, which has a tendency to want to release, but as I addressed in the other video, if you load the crossbow this way, you're fine. The issue comes as if you're loading it this way. As you push, you release the tension for this pin to drop out. So what I'll try and do is actually show it. So there's the pin there, and then as it comes in, you're pushing this against this. This is held under tension, but as I load like this, it's not an issue. I'm going to also do a quick segment on just a quick quick video addressing, or a quick part of this video addressing loading the bolts, because there's a lot of talk online about the quality of the magazines. Now, I love this crossbow. I've recommended it to friends who have bought it and they loved it. I shoot this loads because it's easy to shoot, it's quick to shoot, it's quick to set up. With the iron sights being 0 to 10 yards, it's very easy to just, you know, I shoot it at home in my office, so it's just good fun. I know there's a lot of online, especially with Jorgsprav, sort of slating Steambow. You know, none of that is any of my business. I'm not involved in any way at all, so I'm just taking this crossbow at face value and I really enjoy it. And people talk to me on Reddit or Instagram about the Interceptor and the Revo, and I don't have them. I don't know if I'm going to buy them, not yet anyway. I'm sure they're amazing, but the Interceptor is twice the price of this. So as an entry-level magazine crossbow, I don't think you can go wrong. Of course, it has some flaws, but I think it's great. So I'm going to end the video on that. No, I won't. I'll end the video probably now just quickly showing me loading the bolts into the magazine to see if they spring out. I think that's the best thing to do. And maybe just some nice close-ups. It's worth noting as well, it does feel like a decent crossbow. This feels really good. This is so much better than the Adder. If I'm honest, the Adder stock, the EK Archery Adder stock, and it feels nice to hold, and it's very easy to just keep loading. So there you have it. As part of this review, I wanted to just take a look at the loading of the magazines. A lot of people say that they pop out. In my experience, sometimes they pop out, sometimes they don't pop out. I know that doesn't sound too helpful, but I thought I've got 3 magazines, 3 different types of bolts. I've got the Steambow standard bolts. That one's actually bent, I didn't realise. What are the odds of that? But the standard Steambow bolts that come with it. These are Elong Premium. And then I've also got EK Archery Premium as well. I have some other ones. These are Elong Standard, but I thought I'll leave those out. I'll just do these 3. So annoyingly, that one's got a bit of a bend in it as well. If you hit wood, which I've done accidentally or on purpose, maybe it wasn't the wood that bent them, but they obviously do have they're not super strong, so they can bend if you apply too much force to them. But anyway, so this isn't scripted at all. Right, okay, there you go. 1's gone in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes they do pop out, so maybe it's the magazine. So let's see, maybe that one's a good magazine, I don't know. Let's try these. See, there you go, look. These don't want to stay in, so you get 1, 2. Okay, so once you've got 2, they'll stay in. 3, well, there you go. So there's some evidence of what can happen. 2, maybe you need 3 in then. 3. Nope. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So that was the Elong Premium. Now we've got the EK Archery Premium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you have it. Okay, so one comes out. They all came out. Now I'm applying the same pressure, I'm trying to be fair. There you go, that's my unbiased review on the magazines popping open. This video isn't about this. I could go into more depth where I could use all the bolt types I have in one magazine. These feel very, it's going to sound daft, but they feel very slippy. Let's just quickly. Okay, so do you know what? Maybe it's these bolts. These bolts feel very, they're very shiny and they feel very slippy. I know that sounds really daft. I don't know which term to use, but okay, here you go. Look, I'm not having the same issue here. So it could just be those bolts. I don't want to drag this segment of the review out too much, so I'm going to try and be quick, but I think that's 10. I wasn't counting. No, maybe that's 10. Let's see, will another one go in? You know, I think that might be 11, but take what you want from that. Make your own decision. So something I really love about the magazine system is you can actually carry the magazines on you and use them as and when you need them, which is obviously an advantage over other crossbows, and I guess you could say it's sort of fun for the fantasy element of it.